Imagine a 12-year-old boy sitting completely alone in a room. No friends, no parties, just a primitive computer, a machine with a mere 5 kilobytes of memory. But inside that room was a mind that functioned like a machine. While other kids played outside, he built a complete video game, and he sold it at just 12 years old. Other kids threw him down a staircase and beat him bloody. He got up. Today, he owns the future. Elon Musk was born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. To the world, it looked like a perfectly normal family, but inside Elon's head, things were anything but normal. As a child, he would fall into deep, trance-like states. He was completely unresponsive. Doctors thought he was deaf, but his brain was just running at absolute full throttle.
He wasn't tracking the world around him. He was operating a fully functioning science lab inside his own mind. He devoured encyclopedias and sci-fi. When his cousin feared the dark, he said, "Darkness is only the absence of light." It was logical, factual, and completely alienating. The local kids didn't understand him. They made him a target. He was bullied brutally. Once, a gang threw him down a flight of stairs and beat him until he was hospitalized. But pain, whether physical or emotional, became fuel for Elon. It wasn't a reason to stop. It was a reason to fight. When he was 8, his parents divorced. He chose to stay with his father. At 10, he discovered computers. He demanded one. It had 5 kilobytes of memory and a basic programming manual meant to take 6 full months. He finished the entire workbook in just 3 days, operating completely without sleep, driven by pure fascination. By 12, he built a space video game called Blaster. He sold the code to a magazine for $500. It was his very first business transaction. Not bad for a kid that most people around him had completely written off. But South Africa was too small for what was coming. Elon knew his destiny required a much larger stage. He needed to get to the one place that matched the sheer scale of his ambition. He needed America. Getting there took strategy. He moved to Canada at 17, took odd jobs, and eventually transferred to Pennsylvania. In 1995, fresh out of college, Elon and his brother Kimball spotted a massive problem hiding in plain sight. People were still using massive paper directories to find local businesses. Maps were physical, clumsy, and outdated. There was no easy way to find a restaurant online. So, they rented a tiny, suffocatingly small office space. Elon coded through the night, sleeping on a beanbag chair. Kimball spent his days knocking on shopkeepers' doors. They called it Zip2, a digital city directory with integrated maps. Today, it sounds basic. Back then, it was revolutionary. Silicon Valley noticed. Venture capital funding poured in. First $3 million, then $50 million. By 1999, at the absolute peak of the internet boom, computer giant Compaq made a massive move. Compaq bought Zip2 outright for $307 million in cash. It changed everything. At just 27 years old, Elon's personal cut of the sale was $22 million. He was wealthy beyond his wildest dreams. He could have retired to an island. He didn't even slow down. Instead, he took that massive pile of cash and looked for an industry that was ripe for total destruction. He realized the global financial system was slow, ancient, and terrified of the emerging power of the internet. Elon decided he would build a digital system to replace them all. He was about to risk it all again. He poured $12 million of his own money into a radical new concept. It was called X.com. X.com was a fully digital bank. No physical branches. But in 1999, people didn't even trust online shopping. So Elon paid them to try it. He gave $20 to every new user. They grew to 200,000 users. A fierce rival startup called PayPal was burning money doing the same thing. To survive, the two enemies merged. Elon became CEO, but his style was brutal. He micromanaged every detail and publicly blasted his own employees. While Elon was away on his honeymoon, his own board of directors staged a coup, replacing him with Peter Thiel. He was furious, but kept his shares. When eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion, Elon cleared $180 million. Then tragedy struck. His infant son died of sudden illness. Devastated, Elon buried his agony directly into his work.
In 2001, Elon asked why humanity hadn't been to Mars. NASA had no plan, so he decided to build the rockets himself. He flew to Russia to buy cheap missiles. The Russian officials literally laughed at him and demanded ridiculous prices. On the flight home, Elon did the math. The raw materials for a rocket only cost 3% of the retail price. In 2002, he founded SpaceX. The mission was absolute. Eliminate middlemen, build everything in-house, and cut costs by 90%. The first launch in 2006 exploded 25 seconds in. $100 million of his own money gone in smoke. The second launch failed in mid-flight. The third launch exploded during stage separation. 3 consecutive, devastating failures. SpaceX was entirely out of money. They had exactly enough components left to build and attempt one final launch. September 2008. Falcon 1 sits on the pad for the 4th time. If this fails, SpaceX dies forever.
Ignition, liftoff. The first stage clears. The second stage burns true. The tension in the room is suffocating. Then, confirmation hits the screens. Orbit. SpaceX became the first private company to put a rocket into orbit. Days later, a stunned NASA awarded SpaceX a lifeline, a massive $1.6 billion cargo resupply contract. But while SpaceX was struggling to reach orbit, Elon was fighting a brutal second war on the ground with Tesla. He invested millions into a tiny startup trying to build a high-performance, long-range electric sports car. The execution was total chaos. Production costs skyrocketed. The global 2008 financial crash hit, freezing all credit. Investors fled. To save the company, Elon took over as CEO, liquidated his personal assets, and slept on the factory floor. On Christmas Eve 2008, Tesla was hours from bankruptcy. Elon scraped together a final $40 million funding round. Tesla survived by days. Then came the Model S sedan, completely rewriting what an electric vehicle could be. It won Car of the Year, went public, and rapidly transformed into the most valuable automotive brand on Earth. Today, his companies dominate space, electric transport, and satellite internet, pushing his net worth to unprecedented heights. Yet, he remains deeply polarizing. Critics point to intense factory conditions, abrupt mass layoffs, and volatile public behavior. His immense proximity to global political power makes many people deeply uncomfortable, but the results are undeniable. This is a man who watched his rockets blow up 3 times in a row and absolutely refused to walk away. Who risked his entire personal fortune on ideas the world insisted were completely impossible. You do not have to agree with him, but you cannot ignore what he built or how he built it.